So we saw this report coming out of our Asia bureau. What do
Mm.
we know? What's the news?
Well, what my colleagues in Asia have reported is that the Chinese government met with some tech companies this week and has told them that they will only approve the purchases of the H200 chips under special circumstances, and that the company should only consider buying the chips if it's absolutely necessary. Now, what that means is not very clear. They did indicate that they would approve purchases by universities, which suggests that they will allow them, but they really don't want the companies to be buying them as a matter of course. And that's
So
bad news for Nvidia, which had been hoping that the fact that Trump that had said he would approve Nvidia to export these chips, that gave a sign that Nvidia might be able to get back into Ch China, which is a very important market for them.
and I guess it's also not that great for customers in China, the businesses that are trying to get the latest and greatest Nvidia chips, right?
That's right. The companies like Alibaba and ByteDance need these chips because the locally made chips that the government wants them to buy are not as good in training the AI models as NVIDIA's uh, chips are. So that is the problem.
And, I wonder when you have a story like this that is changing so quickly and the details, look, I mean, they are what they are today. A week from now, things might change. What are the broader questions around the US China AI race that come to mind for you leading a newsroom here?
Well, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, we reported last week that the government um, was, they were sort of they were indicating that they were going to be very careful in whether they would approve the purchases, and they've begun to harden their position. Our story says that because the government was a little vague, it sort of opened the door to the idea that they might relax these restrictions over time. It really does depend on, I think, relations between the governments. We had reported last week there was some speculation that Trump's moves in Venezuela might have annoyed China, which buys, much of its oil from there, and that China might have been responding to that by clamping down on Nvidia chips. So the questions that we look for is obviously we're trying to track what is influencing the government and what could happen next.
Hmm. I want to ask you about another story that has been making headlines today and this week. The New York Times reported that Meta is going to cut about 10% of its staff in its Reality Labs group. They said some of those people might go to the wearables group. And then we also had this report from Bloomberg that Meta could double its Ray-Ban glasses output. So, we're seeing sort of a shifting focus here, maybe away from Reality Labs, more towards wearables. If we just stick with Reality Labs here for a second, we've written about this extensively at the information. I mean, is this just a minor restructuring in your view? Is it the beginning of the end for Reality Labs?
No,
What do you
no, no, no. I think that the wearables is in Reality Labs.
Oh, okay.
I think that the Ray-Ban increase is a sign that they are um, focusing more on the product that has actually sold well, and they're trying to increase capacity. They had to recently restrict sales of those glasses in Britain because they didn't have enough production of them. So I think what they're saying is we're not going to invest as much in these sort of very futuristic metaverse technologies, which they've spent a fortune on over the last 5 years, and instead we're going to ramp up the glasses which have a real role in AI. I mean, I think Zuckerberg believes, and he's not the only one, that AI in the future, people will interact with it using wearables. So I think that they're just refining the focus. They're not, and I mean, Reality Labs has been a huge money pit, and they're trying to rein that in because they're also spending a fortune on AI development.
Right. So I mean, this is really them doubling down on what is selling essentially and going to where
Right.
the market
Right.
market is taking them. Got
Right.
it. Well, thank you for clarifying that. As these are the nuances that sometimes we miss here on the show, but we are grateful to have you on to help us make sense of it all. That is Martin Peers, our co-executive editor here at The Information.